All right, class. So today is the 13th, Thursday the 13th. The agenda is on the sideboard. We're going to go through the warm-up, after which we are going to do I'm going to model reflection. We have a short investigation that on reflections to make sure you understand 100% of how to write rules for reflections and perform for reflections. It's on your quiz tomorrow. And then we have a short scavenger hunt that we're going to do with our group. Okay? I'm going to pause to give you a chance to write.
It's really hot in here. You got a hoodie on?
Shh. Yeah, take your hoodie off, babe.
Okay.
All right, let's take out our planner. Yes, ma'am. Just please try not to make a mess, baby. Shh. All right, here we go. This is week 7. Okay. If you watched the video yesterday, please check that off. Completed the homework, check it off. You worked on or completed the project, check it off. Let's go to Thursday. Math 8. Tonight, we're going to cross out what's in the homework packet, and you're only finishing your project tonight. Finish project. If you're finished with your project, wonderful. Make sure that you study for your quiz tomorrow. Study translations and reflections. Study translations and reflections. I'm going to pause to give you a chance to write. Please write this in your planner. Jaden, you okay? Okay, come on. All right, let's look at the warm-up. Make sure you put your planner in a safe place. All right, let's look at Thursday's warm-up. Good morning, babe. For Thursday's warm-up, we are going to solve this expression. Thursday's warm-up. Pause real quick. All right, here we go. So we're going to subtract this fraction. We're going to write this as a mixed number so we can subtract the whole numbers from each other. All right, so this is how you do that. You got 13. We're going to divide 8 into 13. Let me bring this down a little bit because I need space at the top to write. How many times will 8 go into 13? Once. So we're going to put a 1 over the 13, okay? 1 times 8 gives me 8. When I subtract, use your fingers and your toes. When I subtract 8 from 13, you got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 5. Okay? All right, so we have 5 remaining. So our fraction is going to be the remainder over the denominator, which was 8. So we got 1 and 5/8. So when we subtract 1 and 5/8 from 2, what do we get? Anybody know? All right, so let's break that down. We have 2, and we're subtracting 1 and 5/8. Please write it like this so you'll know. And this is an 8. Let me make this look a little bit better, okay? I need a fraction here, so I'm going to decompose this whole number. Some people say borrow. That's going to make this whole number a 1. And the fraction is going to be the whole number 8 over 8. Why do you think I'm going to use 8 over 8 instead of another whole number like 5 over 5, 6 over 6, 7 over 7? So I can subtract. The denominators are 8. If I use 8 over 8, then I don't have to find a common denominator. If I use another number, then I have to find a common denominator. 8 over 8, 1 and 8 over 8 is the same as saying 2. I'm only writing it this way so that I can subtract fractions. Any questions? All right, so now let's subtract. Now we can subtract the numerators. What's 8 minus 5? What's 8 minus 5? 3. Denominator stays the same. What's 1 minus 1? 0. So my answer here is 3/8. Any questions? Okay.
Are they back from the bathroom?
Yeah, I was just getting. We got it. Can you take to the bathroom?
Yeah, I think they just went.
Okay. The product of 6. What does product mean? What does product mean?
The answer.
The answer to a what kind of problem, though? What kind of problem? Is it addition?
Subtraction.
Is it subtraction? Is it multiplication? Or is it division? Product.
Subtraction.
It's multiplication. Okay. Subtraction is difference. Okay. Like the difference between numbers, that's subtraction. Okay. All right. But it's a good try. I'm glad you're responding. It's better than saying nothing. Okay. So thank you. All right. So we got multiplication. What are we multiplying? 6 and a number. Does it say what number? No. Imara, are you okay? Are you okay? So since it doesn't say what number it is, we're going to use a variable. Let's use a variable x. So a product of 6 and x is 6x. So we said we did this part right here, this first part. The product of 6 and a number, that's 6x. Now we continue reading and it says increase, so that's plus 3, okay, that's equal to, is the same as 15 less than 12 times the same number. Didn't tell us what that number is, but we know that whatever there is, they're the same. So we're going to use the variable x. So since it says less than, the order is going to reverse. So we're going to subtract 15 from, yes, please go to the bathroom. We're going to subtract 15 from 12 times x. Okay. All right. So now when you subtract 15 from 12x, this is what your equation looks like. In order to solve this equation, you're going to move the variables to the same side, okay, because you don't have distributive property. You can't combine these terms, can't combine this, can't combine those. So we're going to move one of these. Which one do you want to move, 6x or 12x? 12x. Okay, so if I move 12x, what's the opposite of a positive 12x? Negative. So we're going to subtract 12x on both sides. I probably would have moved the 6 because it's smaller, but it's not wrong. What's 6x minus 12x? 6. Negative 6x. Bring down the plus 3. Bring down the equal sign. This is gone, and we're left with negative 15. Okay. Now what do we do in order to get x by itself? What's next? What do we do to get x by itself? If we add 3, is that moving the 3? No. So we're not going to add 3. We're going to minus. Very good, Andre. We're going to subtract 3 on both sides. When we subtract 3 here, this gives us a negative 6x. Is equal to, what's negative 15 minus 3? Negative 18. Good job. Okay. Now what are we going to do to get x by itself? We're going to divide. Okay. Why are we using division? You're right. Why are we dividing? What? To get x by itself. What operation is between the negative 6 and x? That's very good, Langston. What operation? Multiplication. The opposite of multiplication is division. That's why we're going to divide. What's negative 6 divided by negative 6? It's just going to be x. Positive 1x or just x. What is negative 18 divided by a negative 6? No, not positive. 3. Positive 3. Okay. All right. Please make sure you write that down. You can mark out the Friday. We have a quiz tomorrow on translations and reflections. We have a quiz tomorrow on translations and reflections. Mark out Friday's warm-up. Down. Make sure that you write this down. Did you finish it? Okay. All right, mark out Thursday on the back. Thursday's homework, please mark that out. Today you're finishing your project so that you can submit your project tomorrow. Please mark out Thursday's homework. Yes, baby. Mm-hmm. All right, let's take out the sheet. Make sure you put this packet in where? Work to do. Work to do. Please make sure that you put this in your folder under work to do and take out the sheet from yesterday along with the interactive notebook. I'm going to pause so you can get ready. Take this sheet out, please. Open your interactive notebook. This is going to go on page 24. We finished this yesterday. I'm going to model a couple more. Make sure you have them right. And then we're going to paste them in our notebook. One person from each table, please pick up a supply bag so that you can have the glue. All right. Okay, here we go. I'm going to model the one that's on the bottom. And we should have already completed this, but I want to make sure that we have these right. We are reflecting over the y-axis. Shh, please listen. I'm going to trace over the y-axis. The y-axis is our line of reflection. This is where I'm flipping it. Come on, babe. I don't want you to miss anything. Do you have the sheet? Okay. All right, let's look at P. Let's look at how far P is away from the line of reflection so we can flip it over here. When we count, P is 1, 2, 3, 4 units away from the line of reflection. So when we flip it, it's going to be 4 units away from the line of reflection on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is P prime. Let's do Z. Let's count how many spaces Z is away from the line of reflection. Z is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. So Z is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. This is Z prime. M. Let's count how far M is away from the line of reflection. M is 1, 2, 3, 4. So M is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 on the other side. This is M prime. When I connect, I notice that the object has flipped on the other side of the line. Where the object started or the shape started, it's called the pre-image without the tick marks. Where the shape has moved to, has tick marks on it, it did one transformation. This is called our image. Raise your hand if you got that right. Okay, very good. Anyone still copying before I show you how to do another one? All right, let's look at this one. Okay, let's check to make sure that this is correct. We're flipping this over or across the x-axis. So I'm going to trace or darken the x-axis. Whatever is above the x-axis, when I flip it, it's going to be below. Whatever's below the x-axis, when I flip it, it's going to be above. So let's start with B. B is 1 below the line. So when I flip it, it should be 1 above. This is B prime. Let's look at W. W is 2 above the line. Zoom in just a little bit. W is 2 above the line of reflection. So when I flip it, it's going to be 2 below the line. Z. Z is going to be 1, 2, 3 above the line of reflection. So when I flip it, it's going to be 1, 2, 3 below the line of reflection. Y is going to be 1 above the line of reflection. So when you flip it, it's going to be 1 below the line of reflection. Y prime. So I'm going to connect. And the object just flipped over the line. Okay? Where the object started without the tick marks is called the pre-image. Where the object has moved to after the tick marks is called the image. Any questions about reflection? All right. You should have already completed this sheet. I just wanted to make sure that we understood that one. Raise your hand if you got it right. Supposed to finish it. All right, good deal. Okay, so now let's turn in our interactive notebook. This is going to be page 24. Reflections, practice. Q1, page 24. Reflections, practice. Let's fold it. Fold it like this so that you can glue it on this page so you can open it and still see it. Let's do that now, please. I'm going to pause for the calls to give us a chance to paste this in our notebook. Right, I need you to have this out right here and your pencil. Clear your desk of everything else. You don't need your calculator. Please put that back. I'm going to pause. All right, y'all, this is for a grade. You're going to submit this. You're going to turn this into me today for a grade. So please make sure that at the top of the paper, you put your first and last name. This is for a grade. So please write your first and last name. I am going to, listen, I'm going to read the directions and then I'm going to turn you loose with your group. Are y'all going to be able to handle being in a group together? Okay. I'm going to read the directions to make sure you understand the directions. And then I'm going to walk around to each one of the groups. You don't even have to raise your hand because as soon as I get to your table, if you have a question, I'm going to rotate. Soon as I get to your table, ask me whatever your question is. Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and read it so you can understand what I'm asking you to do. And remember, this is for a grade. Okay. I'm going to collect this for a grade. All right, so you're going to graph these points on this coordinate plane. After you graph the points and connect it, it's going to be a triangle. You're going to flip it over the x-axis. So you're going to trace the x-axis and flip it over the x-axis. If it's above the line, it should be below the line. Wait before you start because I want to get all the directions done. If it's under the line, it should be above. Then you're going to write down the pre-image points. The pre-image points are already given. The image points are where the triangle has moved to after you flip it. Do not forget to put the tick marks. Then you're going to look at the ordered pairs to see the change that it made from this point to the image and write down what you see. From what you see, think of a rule and write that rule there. Okay, I'm not going to tell you what the rule is yet. I want you to see if you can come up with the rule on your own. You're going to do the same thing on the bottom, but when you graph the A, B, and C, you're going to flip it over the y-axis this time. You're going to write down your pre-image. You're going to write down where your points of where it moved to. Don't forget the tick marks. You're going to notice a change. Write down what you think the change is from the x coordinates to the y coordinates. What is that change? See from that change if you can write a rule. On the back, I'm going to stop you before we get to the back, okay? So do the front first, and then we'll do the back, okay? All right, I'm saying that we're going to do this in like maybe 7 minutes. So I'm going to stop you in about 7 minutes, okay? Let's get it done. All right, good people, look. Shh, this is what it looks like. Okay, so we're graphing it. A is at -2, 1, 2, that's 2 to the left, and up 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where A is. Oh, 5. Okay. B is -2. Start at the origin. 1, 2, that's negative 2, and up 2. 1, 2. This is B. C is at negative 6. Start at the origin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is C. You have a triangle. Okay? You're going to flip it over the x-axis. So we're going to flip over the x. So when you flip it over the x, if you were to flip this right over the x, where would the B land? Since B is 2 above the line, B would land 2 below. B prime. Since A is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 above the line, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 below. Since C is 1, 2, 3, 4 above the line, C is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 below. Guys, listen, it's on the slight rude side that some of you are talking when I'm talking. And as I was walking around, there were people that were confused. Ms. Reyes know that it's almost time to go, but I'm trying to rush it through so that I can give you the answer that I know that some of you needed. So please just pause for the calls for a second so I can get through what I need to get through, and then we'll exit, okay? Somebody's still talking, okay? The ordered pairs for the pre-image were given. Please make sure you pick up your cell phone. The image, or where A has moved to, is down here at negative 2 and negative 5. B prime is at negative 2 and negative 2. C prime is at negative 6 and negative 4. The only thing that changed is the Y. The Y coordinate changed. X stayed the same. The Y changed from negative to positive. Okay, and that's it there. All right, if calculated 18 and 19 are missing, please put those back and then we'll exit. Okay, please put the supplies back in the box.